You know what I love? You know, it's just so sweet. It's like music to my ears, and it should be to all of you too. The Detroit Lions got a guy that not only did multiple other teams want, but other teams in the division. How sweet is that? And the man I'm talking about, and I have good juice on this one. This is a great article that I read. I've seen this in multiple places, is David Montgomery. And I think this is one of those things I want to keep pushing the Montgomery train here because I know a lot of us love Jamal Williams and we're like, oh, I'm going to miss that guy so much. No. David Montgomery is a better running back, and it's proof because multiple teams wanted him, and those same teams that wanted him did not try and go get the services of Jamal Williams because they understand. And it's two teams that have had a decent running back history. So without further ado, let's check it out. Let's see who wanted him. Let's go to the top here. The Vikings and the Bears. Thank you so much. They both wanted to sign Lions running back David Montgomery in free agency. Of course, the Bears did, but it gets interesting. I've never seen Poles was very open about this. I mean, he was very open about this. So let's first start by talking about Jamal Williams and not re-signing him. Then we'll get into what Poles had to say about Montgomery, and we'll talk about the Vikings' interest in well. Brad Holmes went into a little more detail. He said, we tried to re-sign Jamal Williams, but the market crystallized and it got to a point where David was in the play, kind of within the range of resources we had set aside for Williams. That's when we went ahead and went for it with David, and we're extremely excited about it. So here's my guess. The NFL is a if-then league. If this happens, then we'll do this. So if this guy doesn't sign, we'll sign your guy. You're talking to David Montgomery's agent. You're talking and you're saying, hey, if we don't have Jamal back at the price, we'll come to you. And then it happened. And I think what happened is Jamal Williams and his agent messed up. I can't tell you this for a fact. This is strictly an opinion. They had a set number. They didn't expect the Lions to counter. They held firm, and the Lions went somewhere else. I think they thought with the relationship that they had that it wouldn't happen. But less than 36 hours after free agency opened, the Lions had their new running back, David Montgomery. And it's a good thing they moved quickly on it because two other teams were going for it. All right. So the Chicago Bears had interest in Montgomery. They ended up signing former Panthers running back Deontay Foreman for a 1-year, $3 million contract and Seahawks Travis Homer for 2 years, $4.5 million. All right. Clearly, Foreman will be the second running back. But they're set at running back, but they wanted David Montgomery back. So this is very interesting. Here's what Poles had to say about Montgomery, which really leads you to believe dude chose to come to Detroit. And here's what he said. I would just kind of sum it up by saying players do have a choice. Whoa. So Poles is saying, like, we wanted him back. He made a choice. He said, I thought we communicated well. I thought we negotiated well. At the same time, you don't always know what's going on in the background. But I thought we did a good job. We were transparent, we were organized, and it didn't happen. I felt like it was really, really close, though. He's saying we basically took them from under their nose. And David Montgomery wanted to be here. And I'm sorry, if I'm David Montgomery and I'm looking at the Detroit Lions and I'm picturing myself in the backfield, I'm picturing one of the best play action quarterbacks handing it off to me. I'm picturing Taylor Decker, Jonah Jackson, Frank Ragnow, Vitae or Glasgow, and Sewell. And I'm saying to myself, I want to run behind those dudes. I see a dome. I see new turf. I see 3 years, 18 million. I see 11 of it guaranteed. I think it's 11, maybe it's 12. And I say to myself, I'm going to go there. But Chicago wasn't the only team in on Montgomery. According to a report, the Bears beat writer Brad Biggs of the Chicago Tribune said the Minnesota Vikings also made a play for him. If you remember, I think they very shortly after that re-signed, what was it, McKissick? So anyways, a lot is happening there. Man. But what they're saying is it looks like simply the money was similar. But the Lions just had more guaranteed money. They had more guaranteed money. And so here's the way I look at it. And outside of Cook in Minnesota, you have Aaron Jones in Green Bay. So you have those two running backs. They're good. Don't get me wrong. But I think you can make a case that the best running back room is through Detroit. David Montgomery is a good running back. DeAndre Swift is an explosive running back. Phenomenal out of the backfield, catching the ball, can run the ball well too. Now you have two running backs who are very multiple. I think they're very multiple. And I think that's what happens in Green Bay. When Jones gets out, they become much more one-dimensional. Quadzilla or whatever his nickname is. Like, he's not catching the ball in the backfield with the same efficiency or anywhere close to the same efficiency as Aaron Jones is. David Montgomery can do it all. And so I think when you see multiple teams going after him, and I'm sure there was other teams that were going after it too, but here's what I love. David Montgomery is in Chicago. He goes up 2 times every year against the Detroit Lions. So in his 4 years, they played 8 times. He's gone against the Minnesota Vikings 2 times each year. 8 times against the Minnesota Vikings. So 2 of the 3 teams that see him the most, the Bears running back room is full. They don't have money to get anybody else in the running back room. It would be a stupid signing. 2 of the 3 teams that see him the most by far of anybody in the league say, I want that guy. What does that tell you? What does that tell you? Where did Jamal Williams go? Right? He went to New Orleans. He went to go play the exact same role that he has in Detroit, which is when we're not throwing it, when we need a hard yard, we're good, because Swift and Kamara are very similar running backs. Kamara's done it better at a higher level for longer, less injured, but they need a power back out there. They need a power back. So David Montgomery can come in. He can be your power back. He can make people miss. He can bust 20, 30-yard runs. He can catch the ball out of the backfield. He's phenomenal in pass protection. What am I missing? Like, I know the guy doesn't have elite speed. He's been healthy. This is a home run. Like, the more I think about this signing, I understand the money was steep, $18 million for a running back. I get that. But it wasn't the 10 to 12 million that some running backs are making. It was a good signing. The more I think of this, the more I like it. The more I think about watching him run in Honolulu blue and silver, the more excited I get about it. The only question I have is who's wearing number 32? Put that in the comment below. Hit the subscribe button. We'll see you on the next video. Thanks, everybody. Great having you. Great chatting. See you.